Thank you so much for joining us.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is keeping you up to date with the latest information. From your morning commute to your afternoon drive, we're on your side, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus. WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is committed to your safety with 6 hours of continuous team coverage.
This is a relentless storm, Dave.
We're fortunate we all made it out alive.
And our network of skycams across the state alerting you to danger, bringing you live footage of tornadoes as they touch down in Wathau County.
Look at this, Chase. Guys, look at that.
This is ground zero almost. I mean, this is really hard to stomach, like I said.
We take our commitment to being on your side seriously, and together, we're Mississippi Strong. Weekdays, stream First Alert Weather Plus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is keeping you up to date with the latest information. From your morning commute to your afternoon drive, we're on your side, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus.
All righty. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here on WLBT Plus First Alert Weather Edition. I'm meteorologist Chase Franson. We're going to be covering the details of your chances to see some winter weather into this weekend. So right now, this is what we're really focusing on as we get going into the rest of your First Alert forecast. So we're really talking about cold air starting to filter in, and we saw this last week. So into this past weekend, this is what I want you to be aware of. It's not the same thing. In any situation, this is not the same setup as last time. So don't think, oh, it's just going to snow in Florida. Oh, no, that's not going to happen. Actually, it could, but we're expecting a very entirely different setup. Last time we didn't have the moisture, but we have the cold polar air. This time, things are lining up. And we talked about having the variety in the models last week. There was no consistency. There was no agreement. You can go to any post that I made last week. There's nothing in terms of agreements. Now, this time, everything's in agreement, which is rather unfortunate. So this is what we're looking at. Highs in the 40s on Saturday. And then into Saturday night and Sunday morning, we're going to be watching out for freezing rain, as well as that type of wintering mix. Highs around freezing into Sunday. Let's talk about that. So this past week, we saw a lot of forecast trends. I was actually just looking at my post from last week because I want to know, how I do. I want to verify my forecast, and I post things that I believe. I don't think that it's right for me to lead you into the wrong direction or tell you false information or just post a model run and say, this is what's going to happen. That's not how I roll. I want to make sure that you are the most informed person possible, that you know the facts. I don't like when people just say, oh, why are you posting this 10 days out? Oh, why are you posting this? I'm not posting anything 10 days out. We are 5 days away from this system moving in. 4 days, actually, if we want to talk about that, and 3 days from the rainfall. That's fairly accurate information. We are going to be talking about rainfall moving into your forecast. The models are in agreement. That's something we usually don't see. Whenever we talk about what you could be expecting. I really wanted to pull up I'm going to get this ready because this thing, hold on a second. There we go. What's been getting me is the fact that we've saw so much consistency in these model runs over the past 40 hours. Last week, there was no consistency in any way. The GFS was saying, oh, it's going to be this. It's going to snow here. And then the Euro was like, there's no moisture here. The European model verified exactly the way that we thought it would be. And that was 5 days out as well. So the European model, 5 days out, consistent last week. So if you just want to use that as your trial, it's good enough to me. And whenever we talk about the inconsistencies in the model, there is none anymore. So whenever we really focus on the chances of winter weather in your forecast here in Mississippi, we talked about this last week. We talked about the cold air, a polar plunge, and then we talked about moisture moving in from the Gulf. Last week, we had that polar plunge. You felt it yesterday. You felt it in Saturday. It was cold. It's cold today, right? Yeah. Again, we had that polar weather. We had the polar plunge, but we didn't have any moisture. That stayed off to the east. We predicted that by Wednesday. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Tanisha. Again, this is something that we talked about. We told you the snow and the precip was going to stay well off to the east of us multiple days in advance. So I don't know why people are saying, oh, why are you trying to predict? Stop it, people. I mean, we're not engagement farming here. I'm trying to tell you, this is what's going on. The forecast models are in agreement. The GFS, the European, both say a wintry mix into Saturday. Now, with that being said, temperature will determine everything. That line right there between the rain and the wintry mix, that's a fine line. I want you to be aware that temperature will change everything. As you know, you might be in Macomb getting a cold, wet, just terrible rain, or you could be up in Kosciuszko getting a snowfall. I want you to be aware that we are not entirely sure just quite yet what wintry mix you will see. Will it be rain? Will it be sleet? Will it be snow? Will it be ice? We're not entirely sure just quite yet. That really depends on the temperature change over the course of the day on Friday and Saturday. So by Wednesday, we'll have a much more detailed forecast on the temperatures, but we do know for a fact you will see a wintry mix. It's just a matter of what type of precipitation will you see? Will you see snow? Will you see ice? Will you see a freezing rain? Will you see a just cold rain? So that is what we're seeing. The European model verified perfectly last system. So with that being said, let's take a look at the GFS. This model did not verify at all with that system until we were about 3 days out. However, seeing a lot of consistency, still showing the rainfall moving into your forecast starting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is a look at Friday, same time as the European model, mind you. This is what we are focusing on. Now seeing consistency with the models. That is the weather word of the day, is consistency. So with that being said, still showing that wintry mix moving in more of a widespread fashion into Saturday. I think that it's a little bit of an outlier, but I want you to be aware that we will see a wintry mix. That's not the question. The question's not, will we see winter weather? No, that's really not the concern. We know we will right now. It's talking about temperatures dropping down into the 20s. It'll be into the 20s overnight, people. It's going to get cold. That's not the problem. It's just a matter of the moisture and the temperatures mixing together and where you are in Mississippi. If you're down in Macomb, you're more than likely not going to be seeing the same wintry weather that people further off into the north are. So you know this. You know where you are. This is something that will be changing into the forecast throughout the rest of the week, though. Wintry weather looks likely. A polar plunge looks imminent. We are going to be talking about a big cold air mass filtering into your forecast. And with that being said, it looks to be the moisture is lining up here in central Mississippi. Right now, forecast models are forecasting a lot of snow well off to the north of us, and the freezing rain, guys, it's ridiculous. I think that some of these models are a little bit far-fetched on how much we could see. If this comes into fruition, it's extremely dangerous. So that's something that we're going to continue to monitor. Nicole was saying snow, please, would be a great birthday present this weekend. I hate to tell you this, but snow looks very unlikely. We need very cold air to filter into your forecast. Again, this is something that we are going to be really focused on because honestly, snow doesn't look likely. But you know what does? My least favorite thing, I'm sure your least favorite thing ever, freezing rain. This is literally the worst thing in my personal opinion. I hate freezing rain. Hate it. It causes a lot of those slick spots, the black ice. This is the main cause for all of that. Those power line damages, power outages, water issues. This is why. Now, you might be thinking, oh, 1.6, 1.5, that seems like a lot, Chase. Are you sure? No, I don't think that number is likely right now. Again, we're going to look for more consistency with these models. This is what the European model is saying, though. Again, I don't think you understand how much that freezing rain could actually damage things. So let's break it down for you. A trace of freezing rain, a trace. Now, granted, Natchez looking at 1/10 of an inch, Jackson almost 1/2 inch of freezing rain, back into the Delta more than an inch. A trace up to 1/4 of an inch means your cars are coated. Bridges will be slick and the light ice will start to develop on trees. quarter of an inch to half an inch, which is what we're forecasting right now into the Jackson Metro. Obviously, these numbers will change based off of the temperature. Tree limbs will break. Most roads look to be icy. Power outages could be possible. If it is higher than half an inch of freezing rain, a half an inch of freezing rain is crazy, first off. And it will cause widespread tree damages, power line damages, and roads. You're not driving. I can promise you, you will not be driving on Sunday if we see half an inch of that freezing rain. So that's, I don't think it's likely. The GFS ensemble showing it a little bit better. J. Adam Strong, a good reminder, if you have to travel, go under, not over. Choose a route that avoids bridges. I 100% agree. Again, we are going to be talking about something that is a little crazy. This is a look at that GFS model showing the ice estimates being around more of a 1/10 of an inch. I think that model played it up a little bit. It just depends on how much moisture and how cool the air gets. But this model is saying about a 1/10 of an inch across the area. So I think that a 1/10 of an inch is a safe standard right now that we could be expecting that. So with that being said, we'll be talking about a good chance to see this into this weekend. It's concerning for me. I saw it yesterday. I saw it on Saturday as well. And I was like, all right, well, Saturday, it's so far out. It's a week out. That's crazy to say. Then I saw it yesterday. I was like, okay, well, 6 days out. Still a little crazy, but starting to see, 24 hours of consistency in the models. A little weird. And then I saw it this morning. I was like, man, you got to be kidding me. No way that this is about to happen. But look at that. A quarter inch of ice equals 120 pounds added on to those wires. That can cause those breaks. That can cause a lot of issues when it comes to half an inch, 500 pounds. It's just crazy. Freezing rain is my least favorite thing, not only to forecast, but just to talk about in general. I hate it. I mean, I was in Dallas, as you know, the Jackson water issue a couple years ago. I was in Dallas during that time, and that pretty much knocked out the entire power grid of Texas. It was freezing rain, roughly around half an inch to around an inch in some spots. So we saw a lot of it and basically knocked out the power grid in Texas. So I'm hoping that the same thing doesn't happen here in Mississippi. But like J. Adam Strong said, brush up on your safe winter driving. You want to buckle up, drive slower, give every other vehicle more space if you do have to go out there into Sunday. Brake early. You want to avoid the skidding, turn on your headlights, avoid cruise control. Please do not use cruise control and block out all distractions. Don't slam on your brakes. That's another thing. Please do not slam on your brakes if it gets icy at the end of the week. But again, it all depends on the temperature right now. So we're really focused on that. The weekend winter weather looks likely. It's just a matter of what you'll see. So right now, these temperatures this is a look at 11 p.m. Byron said, I work for MDOT. We ready? That's what I like to hear. I like to hear that. Again, this is something that people have been saying, people messaging me saying, Chase, why are we forecasting this a week out? You're never right. Look at my track. Kurt Signetti said, how are you going to win at this level? Google me. I win. I have that same feeling right now. I mean, we were spot on the forecast last week. We've talked about the severe weather the past couple weeks, spot on with that too. So over the past really month, we've been very accurate so far. So seeing this consistency and these model trends, and also keeping a close eye on what we know in Mississippi, because come on now, we know that the littlest change could just result in some rainfall. So I'm saying that that's very possible. You could just be dealing with a cold rain into all day on Saturday and into Sunday. But do I think that's likely? No, I think that we see a wintry mix. It's just a matter of, will it be a sleet, which I really hope is just a sleet, or will we see a little bit of that freezing rain? I really think that's the worst case scenario, is freezing rain. And that's really the most likely scenario at this very moment. So Melissa's saying, I'm glad you're speaking on this. I'm happy I am too. I don't like beating around the bush. I like to take things on head first. And honestly, I'd rather you have time to prepare. If this does continue to fruition, which obviously subject to change, this model and all these forecasts depend solely on one thing: temperature. So you got to make sure you have ways to stay updated, because this is something that will change into the coming days. Again, I bring this to your attention now because I think it's something to bring to your attention. I'm not just going to ignore all the models in agreement that we will have a wintry mix. So just make sure you're being weather aware. one last thing before I let you go. This, you know what really grinds my gears? This makes me so angry is whenever I go to the store and I see milk gone, toilet paper gone. Guys, come on now. Are we really buying up all the, I get it. Just shop normally, please. Maybe get a little bit of extra water just in case your water goes out. Maybe get a battery powered heater. Be great to have in case your power goes out. But guys, stop buying 24 rolls of toilet paper for the power to be out for one day. Please. Even if it is out for multiple days, you don't need 24 rolls of toilet paper. Come on now. Same thing happened. Same thing happens every time. We just don't need to freak out over this. We're being prepared, not scared. That's my phrase for the day. Be prepared, not scared. Please don't go buy all the toilet paper and milk. If I go to Kroger, which I will after the gym today, and I see that there's toilet paper and milk missing and it's just empty shelves, I'm going to be a little mad. I'm going to be a little peeved. And so I'll come back tomorrow morning. I'm going to take a picture. Yeah, I agree. J. Adam Strong, better be prepared. Better be prepared and nothing happen than not be prepared. And it does happen. I agree 100%, but do not hoard the supplies. Please don't take all the toilet paper, people. We're not talking about something that will impact you all the way into the week ahead. But again, I know it'll happen. I know. I'm speaking to, this is a one-way mirror. I'm speaking to you, and I know that y'all will listen, but will everyone? No, I know it won't. But still, I want to make sure that you are the most informed people so that whenever you're at work, you can be like, whenever your coworker says, I heard that we're going to get 24 inches of snow, you can say, actually, we're not, because that's ridiculous to say. We're not going to get that much snow. Christy said loss of power doesn't mean you have to use the bathroom more. I agree 100%. I think that, I've always thought that was funny. I've always thought that was crazy. Renee asking Rotzi, Mississippi, will it affect us? It's looking like it'll affect all of central Mississippi. It's just a matter of what you'll see. Again, that's the question mark right now. And by Wednesday and Thursday, I'll have a much more detailed forecast on that. But, they need the milk. You got to stay stocked regardless. But the milk, I agree. And honestly, another thing, the power goes out. What are you going to do with spoiled milk? That's the first thing that'll go. People buy the non-perishables. Why are you buying the milk? I mean, come on. Oh, that really peeves me. It grinds my gears. It makes me angry every time I walk in the grocery store when winter weather. That Lizzie said she still has her toilet paper from COVID. I go to Costco whenever I buy my toilet paper, and so I buy it probably like once or twice a year, just because it comes in such a large thing. It's just me and my fiance too, so I think it's really funny that it's just I still have so much, so there's no need for me to buy toilet paper, and honestly, I'm not going to, but I just think it's funny that people do. So overall, just make sure you're well informed, make sure you're safe, enjoy the cold day today. I hope you have your day off and you're enjoying it, but overall, had to address the facts. I get tired of seeing meteorologists post just one model run and say this is the truth, or say not a forecast. I've had it. I just want you to be the most informed person possible whenever you can be the intelligent one walking around saying, actually, guys, we're not going to see a lot of snow, but ice, I think it's possible. I just want you to know what's going on. I don't want you to get caught off guard by these things. That's why I'm talking about it 5 days in advance. That's why I'm saying, these things can change, because they can. And I really hope that it does. I really hope that we just see a cold, miserable rain and then we're not dealing with ice. But for now, that's all I got for you. We'll have another update live and online for you throughout the rest of the day today. Have a great one. Stay safe. And I'll talk to you again later. So be blessed and have just an amazing day today.